We'll talk a little Phillies baseball with, I believe, one of their young starters right now, making a push to really be their ace of their staff. That's Aaron Nola, kind enough to join me for a couple moments. How you been, Aaron?
I'm doing good, man. How are y'all?
I'm doing well. We're doing well. We appreciate you jumping on board for a couple moments. And, it's interesting, too, because you go back to your last outing on Monday, and I thought you tossed a gem. 7 strong. You really pitched well against the Braves. You allowed 5 hits, no walks, 6 strikeouts. It seems as though, your first pitch, that fastball, those strikes, I mean, you're inducing guys to a bunch of groundouts in that game. Is that one of those games where you look back on the season, and we'll kind of pinpoint a little bit, but that was a game where you were certainly in a groove? I mean, was that one of your more solid performances this season, in your opinion?
Yeah, I think just getting ahead of guys, I think, is a big key to inducing early outs. That's kind of what we want to strive for.
Do you? I'm wondering how much you watch a lot of film on guys. I know a lot of guys that I've spoken to, a lot of sluggers, a lot of guys that offensive players. They watch a lot of film on pitchers. They like to see some of the pitching. They like to see what they're throwing, how they're set up, and whatnot. Do you watch a lot of film on guys?
I watch a little bit. I try not to overwatch. I think people can overwatch and think a little too much, but just try to just focus on my strengths out there.
What were you able to do last year different from this year? Because I remember last year during the season there was a stretch where it was pretty tough on you. And I remember you said that you don't recall getting hit around that much in your career. And that was after a solid start, a couple solid starts in a row. And then you had that stretch where it just wasn't working out for you. Talk about the mental aspect, how you were able to overcome that and block it out and rebound.
Yeah, I mean, that was a little before my injury. The ball wasn't coming out too well. My body wasn't as under control as it is now. I learned a lot about my body since then and how to control my delivery and things like that.
Do you know when you're on the mound right away early on in a game when you have it?
Yeah. I mean, just depending on how the ball's coming out, how you feel balanced-wise over the rubber. I think the first inning or so, couple innings, I think you know a lot about what's working today or what's working that day, and things can obviously change throughout the game, but sometimes you can feel not as great early in the game and then have it middle late in the game. So it just kind of depends on the day and how you feel.
It's funny because when I've spoken to a lot of pitchers over the years, you're right. I mean, they used to tell me, Rich, I know an inning or two if I have it. And then some would be kind of stubborn and they would kind of labor through and fight through. But I think that's the beauty of being a starting pitcher in baseball. If you have it, it can carry you early on. And then sometimes in those middle to late innings, maybe you're trying to get in 6 or 7 full and you're working, you got that at bat where the guy's just grinding out pitch after pitch, foul after foul tip. You just got to stay in there. You got to hang in there. And I think a lot of times when you're a young pitcher like yourself, some young pitchers can get discouraged from that. And it just does not seem to be the case with you because you're going out there, you're throwing 6, 7 strong. So you're really, you're getting those innings in this year, which is good. And I think, again, that's it's going to prove to be extremely beneficial for you going forward.
Yeah, you're not going to feel great every time out. I mean, that's just the nature of pitching, throwing a lot of games every 5 games, and some days you'll feel really good. And I think the days you don't feel good, you got to battle through and try to get through as many innings as you can.
The one thing I noticed this year, especially over your last several starts, the command has really, it's been there. It's been pinpoint. Was there anything after last year that you wanted to work on going into this season?
Yeah, just being more consistent with my body and trying to learn my body a little more than I did last year, and just really focus on being consistent, throwing my pitches over the plate for strikes, and then expanding after that. Just trying to stay healthy the whole year.
Do you start to look at yourself, and again, I know you're not going to say this, not as the ace of the staff, but somewhere where, hey, we're going to give you the ball every 5 days, you're going to be able to go out there and give us 6, 7 strong?
No, I'm just going to try to do my job out there. When it's my day to pitch, just try to give the team a chance to win.
Who's been the toughest hitter you faced thus far this year?
Ooh.
You saw Harper, right? You saw Cespedes. You'll get a nice look at Stanton tomorrow.
Yeah, I don't know. Freddie Freeman's given me some problems that past couple of years.
Why is that? Is he you deem him a battler? He just sees the pitches pretty good.
I mean, he sees the pitches on a lot of guys good. I mean, there's not really too many easy outs up here. I just, try to command the ball as best as I can and, try to throw quality pitches to every guy.
How would you handle your teammate, the young Mr. Rhys Hoskins? How would you? I don't want. What would be the scouting report? How would you go after him? Because that kid is in such a groove, whether he's hitting home runs or not.
I mean, the only time I really seen him before what he's doing now up here is in spring training, and he looks good. I love his swing. So what he's doing right now is pretty fun to watch.
Did you have an idea of the type of power he had?
No, I didn't.
Really?
Didn't. But we heard in the minor leagues what he did, and then he just kind of kept it going up here. So, I mean, he's on a roll. He's still getting hits. He's getting doubles and singles when he's not hitting the home runs. And I think he's a consistent hitter. He's humble. He knows how to take it well, and he's got a good head on his shoulders.
We were joking the other day when he didn't hit a home run. It's remember the movie The Natural? It's like everything you throw. It's either a double, a single. Even when he's not hitting home runs, he's just ripping the ball all over the place. Again, a couple minutes with Phil starter Aaron Nola, Rich Quinones here. Now, I'm curious, too, when you look at this season, it's tough when you go through these types of seasons, right? It's tough when the team struggles a little bit. And I remember last year, the strength of the Phillies early on, April, May, was the starting pitching, maybe not having it taxing on these guys and shorten up the game and get to the middle relief and get to the bullpen. How do you guys, and I know you can't speak for the rest of your teammates, but yourself, how do you still keep yourself mentally prepared to go out there every time the ball is given to you, even though it's been a struggle this year overall for the team?
I mean, we're playing a game we love, and it's just fun going out there and being with the guys. We got a good group of guys, and just going out and try to improve ourselves, try to improve our ability and get better at what we're doing, and just trying to finish the season strong in this last month.
Yeah, because it seems as though there's going to be a lot of younger players coming up. Obviously, you get the September call-ups. You kind of see going forward, there's still that nucleus, whether it's Herrera, whether it's Franco, whether it's Joseph. Then you look at the starting rotation, you look at the bullpen yourself. So, you got Hoskins, so you're starting to build around that. It seems as though there's some young faces that the Philly fans can certainly be excited about when it comes to this team.
Say again, sorry.
That's okay. That's okay. I see you're getting in your groove. You're getting ready for tomorrow. I said you got a couple good young faces right now that the Philly fans can start to get excited about. Yourself included. I know Franco's had an up and down year. Herrera, he's been a solid hitter. Joseph, Hoskins gives them something to hang their hat on. So it just seems as though there's 4 or 5 young players, and I think right away people want to equate it to a decade ago with this team and some of those faces that won all those playoff games and got to back-to-back World Series and whatnot. But it seems as though Phillies fans should be excited maybe going forward with a couple of these young players.
I think so, man. I mean, we got a lot of good young talent and pretty solid group of guys too. Our chemistry is really good, and I think right now we're pretty young, and I think the more experience we get on the field and more experience we get with each other is just going to help us out in the long run, and just to know each other a little better, learn a little bit more about the game and about opponents. I think it's a big key.
Listen, I'll let you get out of here on this. I know when you talk to pitchers, it's not pitcher versus pitcher. It's pitcher versus team, pitcher versus batter. But is there, when you have an off day and you sit and you watch some of these games, if I were to throw out, Greinke, Kershaw, DeGrom, Sale, some of these guys, I mean, if you kind of take yourself and be a fan for a moment, who's got kind of the nastiest stuff right now in baseball?
Oh, man. They got a few of them. I mean, being in division with the National, Scherzer is one.
Scherzer,
one of them. I've seen him throw quite a few times, and he's pretty fun to watch.
How about DeGrom?
DeGrom, I like watching that guy throw. It's pretty special to watch too. I mean, it's pretty cool to see a guy how he throws his fastball at the knees so consistently. It's pretty cool to watch. I've got a lot of solid pitchers in our division that are pretty fun to watch.
Yep. The NL stacked, absolutely. And you saw the move that obviously in the AO the Astros made yesterday for Verlander, so they give themselves enough. It's amazing too when these veteran guys. It doesn't. Listen, you don't have to have that stout record during the regular season, but if you're a veteran pitcher and you've been in the postseason before, and some of these teams want to solidify their starting rotation or get that third or fourth guy, you go out for a veteran. I mean, this. That can turn the tide around of any series, and it can get you to a World Series.
Yeah, I think so. I think, too, Verlander, he's got postseason experience.
Yeah.
He's a veteran guy, and I think, like you said, I think that's a big key, especially, teams going in the postseason and getting guys who have experience and know how to pitch there and know how to handle it. I think it's very important.
All right, I know I got you for about 30 more seconds, so I'll ask you tomorrow on the hill for the Phils against the Marlins, and Stanton's just been ripping the ball. I know he's cooled off a little bit. I mean, again, he can't hit a home run every day. How do you approach a slugger like that? Do you go after him, or do you let him see a couple pitches, or you go right after him?
You gotta try to go right after him.
Yeah.
Try to get ahead in the count. Just make your pitches. Location. Guy, he's hot right now, and just try to. I'm not going to try to change my approach just because it's him. Just try to stick with my plan with the game, and just try to execute my pitches.
Well, again, we'd have to talk again, because if he goes deep with you the first at bat, I'm wondering if you would brush him back the second at bat.
I'll just see how the plan works tomorrow.
You LSU guys are tough. You don't back down, right?
Nah.
All right, listen, I know you're out there. Exactly. I'll keep it to you on that. All right. I appreciate a couple moments. The best of luck to finish out the season. Keep it going, and I appreciate you checking in for a couple moments, Aaron.
All right, man. Thanks for having me today. Thank you.